like that. So I'm Fred Young, a member of our Board of Trustees, and I welcome you to the Sunday service at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbia. So I'm an elderly gentleman, pale skin, gray hair, flowery shirt. We are a congregation of many beliefs, striving together to embody courageous love, radical welcome, and deep connection. We're so glad you're here. Welcome. We offer a live stream of our services and extend a warm welcome to those of you joining online. We strive to make our worship accessible. You can find an accessible order of service with hymn lyrics included at our homepage, uucomo.org. There are listening assistance devices with our ushers near the entrance of the sanctuary. And if you're on Zoom, you can click the CC button for subtitles. We also have a scent-free section in the front 2 rows on the east side of the sanctuary, and ask that those seats be reserved for those with chemical sensitivities and those not using scented products. As usual, masks are welcome, celebrated, and optional. We'd like to particularly welcome any visitors among us this morning and invite you to find our Visitor Connect book in the greeting area or in the chat, or use the QR code in your order of service. We'd love to stay in touch with you. Children and babies are always welcome in worship, and we have a nursery care in the lower level for our youngest ones, as well as a lively children's program of all ages. Though this morning we are worshiping together as one community of all ages. Children's programs will resume next week. Now, let us settle into this time and place with the help of UU Church teen and singer-songwriter Lila Ordway.
Okay, this song is called I Fly, and it's an original. Lullabies that tear my skin, I cry but never win. Fine wine that doesn't quite taste right, wobbling around, I can't find water. No video can help me feel better. Toxicity burned all the letters you sent. Are dying on the west coast, but I fly, fly, fly. Florida slip into the sea, so I'll travel to Hawaii. Turtles going extinct, so I'll watch them on TV. Discovery on how everyone's going extinct. Can't go out, I hate my body, I don't look like that girl on TV. Is this what it's like in the 21st century? Birds are dying on the west coast, but I fly, fly, fly. Florida slip into the sea, so I'll Is it psychosis? Parentheses says God knows what's next, but I keep looking around. But I keep looking around. Bluebirds dying on the west coast, but I fly, fly, fly. Florida slip into the sea, so I'll travel to Hawaii. Turtles going extinct, so I'll watch them on TV. Discovery on how everyone's going extinct.
Good morning. I'm the Reverend Molly Hausch-Gordon, the minister of this congregation. I am a pale-skinned white woman with red hair that's very long on one side and very short on the other. Today I'm wearing a white blouse with little birds on it and a black blazer. And I'm so glad to welcome you here this morning as we gather for our annual Earth Day observance, long a high holiday for Unitarian Universalists. And this Earth Day, as you may have guessed from Lila's incredible song, we are joining our hearts in grief and gratitude for all of life on this planet. We are pausing this morning to lament all of the species lost to human-driven climate change, to give thanks for all the wondrous species and extravagant beauty of our earth even now, and to rededicate ourselves to all that yet may be saved with our commitment and our love. I understand poetry to be the form of language that can hold the vastness of grief and gratitude I feel for our unrepeatable planet and all its plants and animals and waters and rocks. So this morning, together, we are going to share and create poems for the earth. An elegy is a poem of lament for the dead, and an ode is a lyric poem glorifying an event or an individual. This morning, we will spend the first part of our service sharing elegies for species lost due to climate change. And we will spend the second half of our service composing odes to all the earthly beauty that we could, with our loving attention and commitment, still see thrive. Now, with gratitude to our UU church member, Pac Matthews, for initiating this particular service, I invite him forward to share our opening words.
My name is Pac Matthews. I'm elderly, gray-haired, white fellow. I'm wearing you choose. I'm colorblind slightly, so this is either fresh rust or late orange, and we can have a whole meme about it if we want. So. This is by Gary Lawless. When the animals come to us asking for our help, will we know what they are saying? When the plants speak to us in their delicate, beautiful language, we'll be able to answer them. When the planet herself sings to us in our dreams, will we be able to wake ourselves and answer?
Let us now share our opening hymn, number 175 in your gray hymnal. We celebrate the web of life. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, or remain seated as you are most comfortable this morning. Let us join in song.
should tell you who I am first. Good morning. I am Isatu Kamara Bush, your worship associate for this morning. I am a brown-skinned woman with black hair, wearing a blue and white scarf on my head and a light blue blouse. As we light our chalice, symbol of our faith, in the cup of community and flame of spirit, will you please join us in the words of affirmation printed in your order of service? Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Good morning. I'm Jamila Batchelder, the Director of Religious Education here. I am a middle-aged white woman with dark blonde hair and glasses, and I'm wearing a black tunic top with green fern embroidery on the bottom, which you can't see from the pulpit. I think for anyone who loves the earth, it's impossible to not feel a lot of grief right now at all that is lost. And I think this is especially acute for our young people as species go extinct before you even have a chance to get to know them. I may cry in the service. Our coming of age class wanted to memorialize some of these incredible species by writing a collective poem. So this poem was written by Emma Winter, Trinity Burling, Sam Stevens, Lucy Rodiger Shearer, Amelie Buffalo, Corinne Fajan, Lilith Brennan, Leo Batchelder Draper. And Lilith and Leo are going to help in reading it today, so if you two could please come forward. And we have a slideshow to show you how beautiful these creatures are. Okay. So this is an elegy to all that is lost. Perennian ibex. Extinction date, 2000.
A light brown mountain goat with large, dark-colored arched horns sits on folded legs on a rocky cliff edge with sparse green ground cover. In the background are more cliffs at a distance.
The ibex stands, branching horns, rooted hooves, a tree atop the mountains.
We remember them.
Golden toad. Extinction date, 2004.
A small, bright orange toad sits on a dark green lily pad floating in dark water. A second bright orange toad floats in the water, forelegs resting on the lily pad, legs extended behind it.
Once a field of gold, hopping in puddles, too quickly lost in the rain.
Will you join me in saying, we remember them?
Baiji dolphin. Extinction date, 2007.
An almost unbelievably pink dolphin swims in blue-green water reflecting sunlight. Its head, upper body, and dorsal fin rise above the water.
Pink, unique.
Pink, unique, extinct Baiji dolphin.
Will you join me? We remember them.
Giant Pinta tortoise. Extinction date 2012.
This image is of the last giant Pinta tortoise, known as Lonesome George, standing on a rock outcrop. It has a large gray-brown shell, a wrinkled neck, large scaled forearms ending in gray claws. A small face peers directly forward.
Weathered skin and ancient soul, shell like bluffs against the storm. Farewell, George.
We remember them.
Amistad gambusia. Extinction date 2012.
A small golden-scaled fish with a large black eye swims in deep blue water.
Small fish in a smaller home. A single spring, so small, yet still an enormous loss.
We remember them.
Bramble K. malomus. Extinction date 2016.
A small brown rodent sits amid succulents on a rocky beach, munching on a leaf.
Small, but still had a life. The waters of climate change left the malomus lifeless.
We remember them.
Puli. Extinction date 2019.
A small bird with a black head, curved beak, white neck, and brown body sits upon a human hand. Its legs are banded. A tree's bark is out of focus in the background.
Swiftly flying through the mountains before forever flying away, it leaves a distant memory and an ocean of regret.
We remember them.
Bachman's warbler. Extinction date 2023.
A small songbird with yellow face and chest, black head and neck, and yellow-brown back and wings sits perched on a leafless branch.
Bachman's warbler's song has been drowned out by the loudness of deforestation. We remember them.
Let us now take a moment of silence in grief and utter lament at all that is lost. As a community, we hold this grief and we hold each other as we now share our weekly ritual together, which I said too long.
Now, during a time of a moment of contemplative music, I invite you into our weekly ritual of stones and water. Those of you with us online are invited into a time of contemplation during quiet music, and you may wish to share your joy or sorrow in the chat to be spoken aloud during our time of prayer. For those of you here in the sanctuary, you are welcome to come forward and take a stone, representing any of the hopes and fears that you bring with you this morning, and drop the stone into the water, which represents the embrace of our community. Those of you in person who wish to have your joy or sorrow spoken aloud may write it on a slip of paper at the back table to be shared during our time of prayer. Let us now share this time of stones and water.
With these words from Kate Walker. For our earth our ancient mother, blue-green planet of the galaxy, harbinger of lives beyond measure, we honor you with our humble presence. We bow with humility and gratitudes. For the plants that have sustained our bodies, wheat, corn, peas, tomatoes, peppers, and soybeans. For the live species providing rich protein, fishes, poultry, pigs, and beef, we offer our thanks for the circle of life. For the waters that give us daily life, from ocean depth to rocky cliffs, from Arctic ice to beaches and small streams, from lofty cloud to precious cup at our lips, we remember our dependence. For the mountains rising to challenge our greatest aspirations, for the deserts transformed into a torrent of rain, for the forests thick with trunks marked by rings of wisdom, for roots of an interconnected web, for the new life within the heart of a seed, our souls respond in awe. For the millions of species, microscopic in the soils under our feet, to the pads, paws, and multi-toed, for the feathers and the scales, for minuscule eyes open only under the moon's soft guidance, and for the lichens and mosses pushing onto the leaves and rocks, we honor your existence. And for all of us, descendants of the first primates, for those who sleep under the same blessed skies, for those who breathe the same oxygen feeding our hearts, for those who need love as much as anything, and for those who yearn for the ease of compassion's relief, we remember we are not alone. May it be so, and amen. And as we share our gratitude for our earth, I invite you to sing our hymn of response, number 163, for the earth forever turning. And I invite you, if you are able and willing, to turn your body to the windows that line the back of our sanctuary, to look out upon the beauty of this little patch of earth that we are blessed to share. You may rise in body or in spirit or remain seated. Let us turn and sing our gratitude to the earth.
It's easy to feel powerless in the face of so much loss. But what I want you to know what I want you to take away from today is remembering how much power we hold. We have the power to harm, but we also have the power to choose another path. One story I often think about is that of the bald eagle. We're going to watch a video of it now. This bird, it's special. When you see it, it takes your breath away a little bit. You feel something witnessing its grace, its power. What a miracle that you get to exist alongside it. But for a while, that didn't look possible because many decades ago, mysteriously, the bald eagle began to vanish. The population of bald eagles, once numbering in the hundreds of thousands, rapidly plummeted to under 1,000. People looked on in horror as its path to extinction seemed all but inevitable. But so many people worked together to choose another path, to choose another way to use their power. It began with scientists unraveling the mystery of its disappearance. It was believed that the bald eagle was too large a bird to be poisoned by the widely used chemical pesticide DDT, the way it poisons smaller birds. But scientists discovered that as eagles ate smaller birds, the chemical built up in their body in a process called biomagnification. And it didn't poison the adult birds. Instead, it weakened the shells of the eggs they lay, interfering with their ability to reproduce. I think of those scientists putting in the countless hours in the field and in the lab. They chose another way to use their power. And then there were the prophetic words of Rachel Carson, writing with all of the poetry of her broken heart, and with every bit of her intelligence and knowledge of the natural world, to warn us about DDT, of her courage to go before Congress to testify, knowing that many would label her as a hysterical woman, doing it all while she was secretly dying of cancer. She chose another way to use her power. And I think of the activists and politicians who worked ceaselessly to pass the Endangered Species Act, the law that would protect the bald eagle and all the other precious beings sitting at the precipice of being here or being gone forever, who worked to ban DDT. The political process is never easy. It is never a straight shot where everyone does the right thing. It is years and years of not giving up. They didn't give up. They chose another way to use their power. And I can't forget the unsung bureaucrats and regulators, the people who made sure the laws on paper actually meant something in the real world, the sampling, the writing of tedious reports, the issuing of citations. There's no day set aside to celebrate them, but what they did mattered too. They too chose to use their power. And so all these people, each using whatever power they had, they changed the course of history. The bald eagle population began to grow again. People my age, in our childhood, we remember the worry of whether it was too late. Could the bald eagle be saved? But each year, there were more, until they were no longer endangered. They were recovered. I saw my first bald eagle in my life here in Colombia, flying over a forest I was hiking in. It was a sight that I never dreamed would be possible when I was a child. Even though today many would say it was an unremarkable moment. A bald eagle, so what? They're everywhere. And yet every single time I have seen one, it feels like a miracle, a blessing, a reminder that we have a choice.
There was a line in a recent Star Wars movie that has stuck with me ever since. When one of the resistance fighters turns to another and says, "We don't win by fighting what we hate. We win by saving what we love." In these days, at the precipice of so much loss, we turn our hearts toward what we love. It will be our love that makes the difference. We turn our hearts toward what we may yet save, even knowing that what we have to offer our fellow species is not salvation so much as it is our loving attention, our care for their fate, and our rededication to shifting our own lives so that they may yet live. This morning, we are going to invite you in small groups into creating odes to some species that still may yet live if we will rededicate ourselves to their thriving. Jamila has prepared packets for a number of different animals, and what we're going to ask you to do is to shift your chairs like you need to shift your lives. It's going to be chaos. But climate change is chaos. And so we're going to ask you to find about 2 rows at a time, groups of 8 or so, and consider even circling up your chairs and getting yourselves together. And then we're going to give each group an animal. We're going to give you a fact sheet about that animal. We're going to give you some pictures of that animal. And we're going to give you some note cards and ask each person around your circle to compose a line or 2 of poetry about, in celebration, an ode to that animal. And then we're going to ask you to put those into some kind of order on the poster board, along with images, especially if our children would like to decorate the poster board, if there are children in your group. And we are going to create these beautiful odes to the species that with our attention and our love may yet be saved because of the way we shift our lives. And then at the end of that time, we're going to take about 10 minutes to do that, and then we're going to invite each group to send their poster forward with one of your people to read us the poem, and we will rededicate ourselves to these animals. For those of you online, I am going to be with you online, and we're going to do this same exercise online, on Zoom. So I now invite you to take a moment to rearrange yourselves. And if that's just really not going to work for you and the way that your brain and body are working today, I'd like to invite you to find some quiet time in the greeting area to ponder the species that we are committing ourselves to, and then you may come back in at the end of the time if you need that quiet space. Hello, everyone online. I'm going to go someplace more quiet so that you can hear me well. And we are going to spend some time making an ode ourselves. And we are going to make our ode to the running buffalo clover. This is a species of clover that was native to Missouri and that several years ago was thought to be extinct before it was discovered a few small patches in West Virginia. And with some restoration efforts, those few small patches have returned, and there is now running buffalo clover once again in Missouri. It's thought that the suffering of the buffalo running clover occurred because of the suffering of the buffalo, the large herbivores who ate the clover and perpetuated its regeneration. And so I am going to pull up for you a slide with a photo of the buffalo running clover. And I am going to invite you, if you would like, I've put a link in the chat. This is called a Google Jamboard, and you can actually open this up yourself and add things to it yourself if you are sitting in front of your computer and that is something that feels interesting and doable to you. For the rest of you, I'm going to invite you to engage in the chat on Zoom or on Facebook. I'll pull up the Facebook version as well. And what I would like to invite you to is to look at this beautiful running buffalo clover. It looks a lot like the clover you see in your yard today, except taller. And that's one of the characteristics of it, is that it stands up a little bit taller. And I'd like to invite you to put a couple of lines of poetry into the chat or directly onto the slide. You could find images to add to the slide if you want. And we're going to together create an ode to the running buffalo clover, along with our commitment to nourish its continuation in Missouri and on the earth. So I'm going to just give you a moment. Some of you may be thinking about what you'd like to say. Some of you might be reflecting, perhaps to take a moment to gaze upon this unrepeatable expression of the earth, the running buffalo clover. A moment to rededicate your heart to this species. And I'm going to share aloud some of the lines of poetry that are coming through. Running over buffalo clover tickles my feet. Leaves long petioled rising from ground. And I'm going to look and see if anyone viewing on Facebook has added any lines to our live stream here. None there. So I'm going to pull it back up and I'm going to start adding your lines into our shared poem. Let's see. Oops. Running over buffalo clover tickles my feet. I'll make it a little smaller. Canopied by the sugar maple, black walnut, and American elm. Another beautiful line to add. And you all are being so kind and giving these lines to me right in a nice order already. Don't even have to arrange them. In addition, our Indigenous brothers and sisters felt the weight of our lost buffalo. Indeed. And I am going to add one more line. I'm going to add a line, "Oh, clover, crown us with your flowers," because this plant reminds me of many flower crowns I have woven over time. All right. There it is, our ode to running buffalo clover. And since we have a few moments left, I'm going to invite you to one more ode creation, this one for a very well-known endangered species, which is the monarch butterfly. Monarch butterflies are still deeply, deeply endangered on our earth, even though we've known about their endangerment for some time. I was reading last night that there has been a 59% decrease in the monarch butterfly population in the last year, mostly due to habitat loss. Milkweed is the only plant on which monarch butterflies lay their eggs. And so here is a place where we can choose our power, where our very small, very doable actions can help. Plant milkweed. Find yourself some milkweed and plant it. I know that there are a couple of UU church members who will often divide milkweed and share it. So keep your eye out in the coming time to choose a different path for the monarch. And for now, let us celebrate its beauty in poetry form. I invite you each to add a line once more. I thrill at the sight of monarch butterflies in my garden. Oops, that's the wrong line. I thrill at the sight of monarch butterflies in my garden. I'll give you a moment to admire the monarch and add a line if you would like. How can something so beautiful or so delicate create beauty so bold? Forever on the road. Ah, here we go. Once striped caterpillars transformed into orange and black masterpieces. Forever on the road, looking for a home. Oh, you all, what beautiful poetry we make together. And I am going to share these on behalf of our at-home UU churchers as we regather to share what we have created. So thank you so much for helping to create these beautiful odes this morning. And I'm going to carry you now back into the sanctuary as we regather for the sharing of our odes.
Wait, I don't think he's dangerous.
I'd like to invite you to begin wrapping up your processes by putting your poems together and affixing them to your poster if you are able, or making sure that you're keeping them in order. In just about 2 more minutes, we'll regather to share our odes to our beautiful earth.
What's that? Just take yeah, that's great. What? What's next?
For the earth forever turning, for the skies for every sea, for our lives, for all we cherish, sing we our joyful song of peace. For the mountains, hills, and pastures, in their silent majesty, for the stars, for all the heavens, sing we our joyful song of peace. For the world we raise our voices, for the home that gives us birth. In our joy we sing, returning home to the blue-green hills of earth. I'm going to invite those groups who are ready to share their poem to raise your hands. And Jamila is going to come around so that you don't have to send someone forward. Jamila is going to come around with a microphone. Is anybody ready? Okay. Yeah. At the end of each of the poems, and if you want to come on up, that's fine since you're right there. At the end of each of the poems, we are going to respond with the words, "We rededicate ourselves to you." And so here is our first ode.
This is the ode to a tiger. Ode to the tiger, to lounge about, to lunge, to long and long for more time. Ode to tiger shall I pounce, never see me bounce, weighing 8,000 ounce. Big cats with beautiful and majestic eyes, leaping for the skies. Ripple of color, forest stalker, swift of paw, sharp of claw. They leap and bound through the forest with camouflaging coats as graceful as can be. Fierce and beautiful, tigers represent strength in nature.
Woohoo! And while we wait for another group to be ready, I want to share one ode from online, and this group over here is ready if you want to get ready for them. Our online participants wrote an ode to the running buffalo plover, which is a Missouri species that was thought to be extinct until a few years ago when several patches were discovered. And here is our ode to the running buffalo plover. Running over buffalo clover tickles my feet. Leaves long petioled rising from ground, canopied by the sugar maple, black walnut, and American elm. Our indigenous brothers and sisters felt the weight of our lost buffalo. O clover, crown us with your flowers.
Animals
Ode to the penguin. Animals of the land and sea, may your lives continue. Divers in tuxedos, Olympic swimmers, masters of the water, of the deep. Though they depend on ice and cold, their bodies incubate the eggs. You cannot use your wings to fly in the air, but under the waves you fly like the most graceful water flight. Penguins are social creatures like humans, communicating in visual and sound cues. Can humans see and hear them?
Okay, we've got parrots coming up, and then we'll go over to that group over there.
Someone in our group was listening to us sing this morning. So the title of our poem is To My Little Aviator. They speak to us in human speed. Will we hear their disappearing cries? Magnificent, vibrant, colorful, captivating creature, flamboyant, they fly. Let's learn their talent for our own salvation. Non-territorial plus intelligent. Culling speech, color of the parrot. Parrot of many colors, speak to us of life, and pity the parrotless pirate. Parrot, you make me laugh.
Okay, we did turtles. Beautiful on land or water.
One second, will you pause?
Yes,
Let's all be really
absolutely.
quiet so we can hear. Okay.
Okay, we did turtles. Beautiful on land or water, over 60% in danger, living almost 200 years sometimes. Turtles hit on the road, save them. We can help them cross the street and watch for them on the road. Try to preserve their habitat and research what is killing them. We can be conscious of the chemicals we use. Babies trying to get to the ocean die en route. Please help the turtles.
Amen.
Cheetahs need friends and space. Their spots blur from speed. Your sensitive nature makes me feel more connected to your courageous heart. Streaking across the veldt to feed the tiny mouths, a flash of golden pelt. Running so fast you can outrun everything except what we humans have done.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have wolves. A gray wolf put in a truck, dead. It could be raising its pups. How afraid of you we are, so fearful that we band together to kill, to annihilate your kind. How brutal our fear makes us. A breathtaking example of community, leadership, and care. Each member of the group is cherished and loved, and none are left behind nor forgotten. Pups at play will grow up to help balance out nature, working together as a beautiful family, living free and roaming.
Thank you. I think we've got the whooping crane next, and then we'll get to the whales over here in the middle. Or sharks, the sharks.
Ours is the whooping crane. Take notice of the birds. Let us write on an ode to the crane. Tall and majestic, with presence and distinction, flowing graceful in flight. Tall and loud, we hear you cry. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Patty. Whooping crane flocking with the sandhill cranes, feeding at the Cheyenne bottoms. Graceful, elegant, peaceful, beautiful creature. Hear our empathetic whoop. Long to go, long in neck, long of leg, but how long to live? or be.
Thank you.
Whoop!
Okay, Dante, you want to help? Okay. So Dante was a big help on this. We had sharks. And so sharks are much more varied than we knew. There's so many of them, but 100 million sharks were killed every year by people as of 2008. So our ode to the shark is, "Oh, you beautiful ancient being, may you continue to migrate and fill our seas. From baby Brooklyn to Nobu in Malibu, to commercial fisheries and coastal development, we say, no, boo. Continue your travels from sea to sea, making the seasons of your life, cruising swiftly along, always alert, predators elite. Magnificent and oh so varied shark, the song about your baby has brought joy to so many little ones and frustration to so many parents."
They're for fat.
Do 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 do. All right, we're coming over to, who is this here?
Bats.
We're coming over to the bats.
Hold it up for you. And Anna is going to read.
Bats are sweet and kind, cute and cuddly, and are such an inspiration. I can't believe they are frowned on by our population. Will you sleep upside down? No, upside down. May we be inspired to awake right side up. We can still save these flying mammals, keep them from the forgotten canals. Stop and think, but don't dat. Fuzzy cousins flying rats. Keeps the insects population from getting too fat. Can you miss a scanny you cannot hear? If it were gone, would you even know we were missing it? It may not be for us, but we'd have a less muscular world in turn, musical world in turn. In darkness you gather, but your community is light. Bat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lynx are found in northern USA, Europe, as well as, okay, I'm having trouble reading this, and North America, as well as one species, the endangered Iberian lynx, that lives in Spain. 4 species of lynx across 3 continents. May your habitats remain hospitable to recovery and the joy of life. Iberian lynx, 300 strong and proud. May you grow and flourish. The lynx, such a beautiful cat, needs our help. May it receive all we can give to thrive in beauty. A lynx has a short tail, characteristic tufts of black hair on the tips of their ears, large padded paws for walking on snow. Admires strength, stealthy adaptability, realize dependence on so many factors, some of which we can stop damaging. Small hunter, winter wanderer, forest creature, may we hold you in our hearts and save your space in our world. To be careful and conscious not to lose the lynx. Big paws adapted for snow, but where is the snow now? Ever northward, higher elevations, adapting to new prey, new country,
holding on, shifting with the environment, surviving. We rededicate ourselves to the finest of felines, the lynx.
Amen. Are we missing anyone? Let us share these words of rededication from the UN Environmental Sabbath of 1990. Your response together is, we join with the earth and with each other. Can you say that with me? We join with the earth and with each other to bring new life to the land, to restore the waters, to refresh the air. We join with the earth and with each other to renew the forests, to care for the plants, to protect the creatures. We join with the earth and with each other to celebrate the seas, to rejoice in the sunlight, to sing the song of the stars. We join with the earth and with each other to recall our destiny, to renew our spirits, to reinvigorate our bodies. We join with the earth and with each other. We join with the earth together as many and diverse expressions of one loving mystery for the healing of the earth and the renewal of all life. We join with the earth and with each other. And now our final hymn is a song by the Rabbi Shoshana Friedman, "The Tide is Rising." We've sung it a few times over the years, but it just repeats with different words. So if you pick it up after the second one, just join in when you can. You have the song in an insert in your order of service. I invite you to do what feels right with your body right now. We're all in circles. We're all over the place. Stand or remain seated as we sing together.